Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Right, today we have done basic inference and inference with purpose. Now we're going to do comparisons, and later I'm going to teach you the source-based questions of the background. Okay, to help you to do your SBQ. Only Zhao Xuan has handed the homework, but Zhao Xuan, I will not mark that homework because you miss out one question. You put IDK. I don't like the IDK, so I will help you later on. So don't worry. Zhao Xuan, you might turn on your camera, please. Come here. Are you okay to turn on your camera? Zhao Xuan, are you there? Zhao Xuan, are you there? I can't hear you. Okay. Well, I don't know what happened to Zhao Xuan. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I saw the message. Sorry. You're taking medicine. 对不起. Okay, the skills of comparison involve two elements. They are to detect the similarities and differences in the source. Some of you might not like this kind of comparison skills, but it is very useful in terms of in real life to make the comparison. So, Ziying, next time, for example, you and your husband are looking for a condominium, right? Right? Say you stay in penthouse condominium. Hey, surprisingly, Pei Kun, do you know North Korea also got penthouse there? You know what is penthouse, right? 就是很美的那个 condominium 上面有天台的，对不对？杨香 why you got bicycle? You change already. Not your USA the Pentagon background. I changed. Okay, surprisingly, Pei Kun and Jialing, nobody want to stay in North Korea penthouse. You know why not? The lift not working. Oh my goodness, yes, yeah, you're like GG, right? 他说你送给我也不要，因为那个 North Korean defector 他跑掉他跟他们讲说他的朋友住28楼，他要爬楼梯上去。I said oh my goodness, can you imagine 他肚子痛完蛋了。So not safe to buy a penthouse in North Korea, as there's a comparison now. So okay, back to you, Ziying. All of you just imagine that you guys are going to get a condo for the sake of your children. You know, Ziying and Pei Kun, Xiaoxing, you know Singapore children have to be 1 kilometer away to your favorite school, right? You know about this, right? You know that? Ziying, you know that? Don't know, you must be well pampered, take care of mommy by daddy mommy daddy. So what happens in Singapore, take note, this is also important, that if your child, okay, Ziying, sorry, if your son, I'm not, okay, let's say you got this Long Feng Tai, a boy and girl, okay? So you want to send them, okay, Raffles cannot already, Raffles will be either Raffles girl or Raffles boy, okay. Then Catholic also cannot, Catholic is for guy, okay, maybe for the benefit of boys, just boys, all of you got boy, son. Would you send your son to Catholic High? You know it's Catholic High, 公教, or you will send him to Tan Ah Gao Primary School. 没有听过okay, or say some XYZ Primary School, government school. Obviously you will send him to Cat High, right? 对不对? Right? Agree now? So definitely you would buy, this is true, you must stay within 1 to 2 kilometers near to the school. I'm serious. Then your chance is higher. I'm serious. My friend in Melbourne purposely buy a house very near to his son's kindergarten. Okay. And of course, you know, in any other countries, I think Shanghai, Beijing, Liaoning, or any part of China, sure got good school, correct? So parents also want to get near to that place. So we are talking about this first, comparisons, later we'll talk about it. So why do you think you want to get near to that condo instead of a condo which is cheaper, but a bit further from your son's primary school? Okay, we hold on to that first. So we are talking about different types of skill, not different type. How are we going to look into the comparison skills? Okay, getting started. Ready? Can I use this for example? Okay, take note of this. Now, you see these two triangles. You have foolscap paper, please jot down. If not, you can just go back to this YouTube and revise through. Sorry, can I drink some water? I get choked. Now, can I ask maybe voting children? If thumbs up means A and crab means B, yeah, crab means B. Okay, Xiaoxing was crapping. Okay, now listen. Oh, finally I saw Jialing. Suddenly I saw the ceiling without his head. And Zhao Xuan, are you ready to turn on your camera? I'm very forgetful before I forget. Okay, if the question asks source A and source E, think how source A and source E, how different are they? How different in terms? So, Pei Kun, will you start with difference first or similar first? So if you talk about difference, okay, can you just type in the group chat to type D first? If you start with similarity, you type similarity first. Similarity first. Okay, difference correct. By right, if the question asks for difference first, okay, Ziying, we'll talk about difference. If the question asks how similar are B and E, then you talk about the similarity first. But nothing wrong, children. Nothing wrong, Yang Xiang. Nothing wrong that if you want to start, if the question asks you how similar is A and B, then you start with different and similar. It's nothing wrong, but it's better to follow the questions. Okay, so this is the way how are we going to do it for the next few slides already. Slide number 4. So talk about this. How can we use similarity and differences in source in this kind of a situation? For example, here, how different are source A and B about Liverpool Football Club? Explain answer. Anyone here got Liverpool supporter here? Anyone watch football? No, but we just use this because I use this for my teaching last time in my secondary school. Okay. So source A, look here. We don't look at this one. All right. Can I have all agree? If you think plus is a thumbs up, okay? Crab will be minus. Then crying will be neutral. So look here. It will be, where's my plus sign? Plus, minus, and neutral. Okay, these are 3 signs. So view on Liverpool Football Club by a Manchester United fan. Ziying, which one do you think? Is it positive, negative, or neutral?
Negative.
Negative. All agree? Xiaoxing agree?
I would say neutral.
Neutral, fair enough. Okay. Pei Kun?
Negative.
Okay. Yang Xiang? Hello, Yang Xiang?
Neutral.
Neutral. Jialing?
Yeah, neutral.
Okay, negative. Zhao Xuan. How about Xing Chen?
Neutral.
Neutral. Okay, let's see. It's from opposite party bias. Let's see. Liverpool is no more and will never be a powerhouse again. His game is more effective than sleeping pill. Oh my goodness. His game is more effective than sleeping pill to cure your insomnia. Okay. The Liverpool fan cannot accept the fact that Liverpool is hopeless. Wow. It is true that Liverpool was once the most successful club. That was, however, as early as in 1990. So it's negative. Okay. So what is the agenda behind? You know it's agenda, right, Ziying? 它的目的为什么要这样讲？明白吗？ So definitely it's negative. Okay. If you say neutral, no, it's definitely not neutral. All right. Number 6. Let's talk about this. View on Liverpool Football Club by a Liverpool fan. So, Xiaoxing, positive. Don't look at the answer here, Xiaoxing, plus, minus, neutral.
Positive.
Positive, Okay. Jialing?
Positive.
Can we go quickly? If you can give me an answer like Zhao Xuan, they just type it out. Okay, Pei Kun? Thank you, Ziying. Pei Kun, Yang Xiang, and Xing Chen?
Positive.
Positive. Xing Chen?
Positive.
Okay, we have won the English League more than any other club. So it's like telling the Man U, hey, shut up. Don't say my game is okay. Shut up. I'm more than you. Keep quiet. Our game is interesting. I identify an adjective, and we have a lot of supporter. Manchester United and Arsenal are also very good teams. Oh, surprisingly, he also say positive about other club. They have done better than us recently. Oh, so that means this guy Xiao Xing, he agree with the Man U supporter, 对吗? However, we will catch up with them. So that means they also agree recently their players, their teams are not performing well. Okay, so take note of this. All right, so it can be a bit positive in the start here, the starting here, but it's a bit neutral here, and also a bit negative here. Okay, for their club. Take note. So Ziying, now you understand why. Before you read the source itself, you have to put here, is it plus, minus, or neutral? Okay, then after you read already, 不对嘞，它好像这个东西里面可以全部都有。There's a possibility. Okay, let's read number 7. This is the best. You see, source A, so similar. Yang Xiang will be kind enough to read everything here. Source A, Liverpool.
Liverpool was once the most successful club.
Did they mention source A? He say that they agree. That is said by Man U fan.
Liverpool has won the English League more than any other clubs. This means that Liverpool has been successful.
So the keyword successful, successful. You got 3 marks already. Carry on.
Boring. Its game is more effective than sleeping pills to cure your insomnia.
So it's agree. Next one.
And not boring. Not boring. Our Liverpool game is interesting.
So now you know you're using the adjective to describe it and make it more interesting or not interesting or make it how it works. Oh, by the way, for goodness sake, please write down this very important message. Pei Kun, take note, Zhao Xuan and Jia Ling. Don't ever put that both sources are similar. Did your teacher tell you don't write like that? Xiao Xing, you ma? If the
Teacher said both sources are similar in showing something,
no,
like common criterion.
no, you have to be like that, very specific. If the question asks Xiao Xing, do you agree both source A and C are similar? Then when you answer children, you cannot answer, yes, I agree both sources are similar. Then you talk about I tell you straight away, there's some very serious teacher will give you a 0. You know why, Jia Ling? Which source? Which source are you talking? It's like my student was arguing, Mr. Shong, this is a question of source A and E, source A and C. No, you must write down. When talking about comparison, you must be very, very specific. Source A and C are both similar. Source A say that Liverpool, while source B also, okay, and also, okay, this can be further supported that source B. Both source A and C are different. As source A says are boring, then you have to use the word, however, source B say that it's not boring. Don't cry, Ziying. Okay, don't cry. I know it's not boring, okay. B. Look here, you see, both sources are similar. It's wrong. But since by right, you have to put this, I did not change. Both source A and B. Remember that. Okay. No need to explain. I just putting your leg only. Okay, you join, then put 眼药水 咯. Okay, both source A and B are similar in stating that Liverpool was successful in the past. Source A, then remember, please, when you quote please put this one on top here. And then the magic word is also. This is a keyword right now. If not, you can take a picture if you want to. Anyway, this is in YouTube, no problem, okay? Right, so source B state that blah, 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 and this implies that Liverpool has been successful. Then you can say, this can be supported that both source A and B say that Liverpool used to be once successful. 明白吗？被困家里? Okay, can I move on? Number 9. You see, both source again, you see, cannot. You have to put A and B. Okay, differ on. I purposely did not put this because I want to keep reminding you all, you must be very specific. Don't ever put both sources are differ. I can tell you, some teachers are linear, they'll mark you correct. Some will deduct your mark. Okay, both source A and B are differ on whether Liverpool games is boring. Source A says that Liverpool games is boring, it states, then you quote. Okay, however, take note now, Bei Kun, Zhao Xuan, Yang Xiang, however, is actually the opposite, see? The polar opposite. So you have to use the word however. 可是 Source B 说的不是这样 Source B 讲的 Liverpool is a very interesting game. Okay, so you have to use the word however. Take note now, because this is the part where you have the L1, L2, and L3 marking scheme. Thank you. Number 10. This is the one. Jialin, can you read to the class, please?
Both sources are similar in stating that Liverpool was successful in the past. Source A states, Liverpool was once the most successful club. Also, Source B states, Liverpool has won the English League more than any other clubs. This implies that Liverpool has been successful. Both sources differ on whether Liverpool's game is boring. Source A says that Liverpool's game is boring. It states, its game is more effective than sleeping pills to cure your insomnia. However, Source B says that Liverpool game is not boring. It states, our Liverpool game is interesting.
So Ziying, like that now, out of 6 marks, you get 5 marks already. Okay, unless they will talk about the purpose and the tone. Take note, Qiao Xing, Xing Chen, Zhao Xuan, Yang Xiang. Okay, usually 6 marks or 7 marks for comparison. They will talk about what is the tone for both sources. What is the purpose that they say that? Is there a hidden agenda? So take note. You see positive towards versus, you see the tone here. Of course, source A by Man U is definitely a negative tones, whereas the source B, well, there is a bit of negative tones, a bit of very neutral tone, and also positive tone. Then this one, source A is definitely one-sided biasness. Well, source B are biased, but in a way of positive. So you see, you can say that, you see angry or happy. So source A can be a very sarcastic tone, source B can be a very gentle tone and very encouraging tone. 你这样写只有1分呢，所以 I know sorry children, listen very serious By the way, this 1 mark, some students say, Mr. Sean, my school last time, no need 1 mark, forget it, don't mind. You're wrong If any of your teachers say no need, don't care. As long as you can find your similar and the differences and write the common criteria, someone just say it can be done with that's it, complete. No. Seriously, no. You have to complete everything, even though it's 1 mark. Unless you're telling me that, Uncle Raymond, I 没有时间写的, I got other things to do. Then you leave a few lines first, a few lines empty, go and do other questions. Now remember in your exam, 1 question, 1 page. So if it's in the booklet, right? 对吗？ Qiao-Xing, you know, right? It's in the booklet. So you can do 1A, 1 full page, then 1B, another page. 你不要跟我写 1A 一边, now leave half of it, the answer, then leave a few lines, then continue B. Don't. Okay, but you must number your questions. 知道吗？ Bei Kun and Jialin and Yang Xiang. Okay, you must number it. So if it's 1A, 1 page, 1B, 2nd page, 1C, 3rd page. So in case, oh my goodness, 我刚才没有时间写，可能我可以再加进去。你不要忘记anything that 加进去可能 is very high chance to get a 1 grade different So don't 写一张 full sketch 一半不用绳子的不要跟我讲环保，我跟你讲我打你屁股，不要跟我讲环保Don't seriously, okay? 要环保的时候该环保，这个不用环保。你要even your essay in your English or any other subject, okay? I got student, what happened? I use out the whole bullet and I ask for 2nd bullet. They still have to give you But so far nobody do that Unless the fellow 写错 question, that cancel 没办法 because the 1 booklet is enough to cover all the questions. Seriously, unless you do A level, it's a different story. O level is more than enough. Okay, now look at this one. Bias against the Liverpool Football Club and balanced view. You see, I told you right, balanced view on the Liverpool Football Club. So you guys, comparison, you guys have to really look through. You see, look at the prominence first, then you look at the source. You don't eat straight away. 直接就是 拿那个positive negative，就像这样啊。For example，嘉玲，Hello，can I see your face？ 嘉玲，thank you， 嘉玲。所以如果你 next year 你去 Poly 还是 JC 对吗？你看到一个很漂亮的女孩子，对吗？你不可能说哇 be my girlfriend，nothing wrong because 她看得漂亮对吗？乔欣笑了，乔欣你不要假了，你也是一样啦你看到那漂亮女孩子 ，Hi，can I be your friend？ Can I be your number？ 不用紧，你拿了子英他拿了，哇 positive。then 他跟他你喝完水先，不然等一下你这水会喷出来等一下乔欣还是跟嘉玲他跟那哥去吃 food court 啦，子英，那个哥叫Hello， 过来，跟我唱。You said, oh my God, this girl is so you know what I mean? So they say, oh my God, it's negative. I regret of knowing her. Get an idea now. 嘉玲，你明白意思吗？ Right, the first impression, of course, she's very nice, she behave herself very well, 对吗，贝坤？他去hawker center 的时候，他一只脚翘在那个椅子，然后一只手挖鼻子。Oh my goodness！ 那又讲一点粗话。I tell you, I think 嘉玲bye 再见 ，sorry 再也不见了，拜拜，明白意思So it's the same thing, guys. Now you understand why the prominence will give you a head start. So when you read already, you can compare. All right, thank you. Yang Xiang, can you continue again here?
Source A is biased against the Liverpool Football Club. It only states negative aspects of the club.
So that's the tone,
Yes.
That's the tone, Please, okay, you see, by writing like that, Ziying, 1 mark only, So do you want to spend that 1 minute plus to write this? Worth it, trust me, because this one definitely will help you further on in your further study. Carry on, my dear.
Source B, however, gives a balanced view of the Liverpool Football Club. It states that the club has been successful, but also acknowledges that there are other clubs like Arsenal which are better.
Okay, so you say a balanced view. So there's not bias. Remember, it's all right. Just now you saw there's a plus, minus, and neutral. So I got student ask me, Pei Kun, Xing Chen, and Qiao Xing, they ask, hey, Uncle Raymond, how the hell do I detect whether the source, the tone is the tone, is it sarcastic or not? Or how do I know what is the purpose they are talking about? Hey, I can't detect. No, I'm so sorry. I have to say sorry to you all first. You need more practice. That's all. I cannot tell you now like that. The next exam paper will come out like that. Agree not? Jia Ling, you agree not? You need more practice. The more practice, 你大概你就懂得我们华语讲来龙什么，你懂得那个来龙什么 ？Can anyone help me？ 你们要考 O Level Chinese 6月对吗？来龙什么
来龙去脉。
对，来龙去脉。子英，你懂什么是来龙去脉吗？懂啊？哇 ，sorry he also have to test you Chinese. So that means you know the inside out of the entire story， 明白吗？ So you ask me 嘉玲 ，Uncle， 你这些有什么帮助？不要忘记嘉玲 ，next time when you work in a company, right? Even though you are the head of that department, do you need to know other departments also? Have to, right? Agree? So guys, you are going for national service, right? So if you are trained in combat, say a commando or artillery or armor or tanker, you also need to know how to use certain weapons, correct? No? You don't say I'm specialized in AK-47 or sorry, AK-47 is not in Singapore, sorry. The SAR machinery, our gun weapon. You also need to know how to throw a grenade, 对不对? Right? So you must know everything, 明白吗? So if any teacher say, Ziying, never mind, I think this class no need to do tone, please complain about her also. I'm serious. To me, it's a shock change. Okay, I'm telling you this because it is true. A few of my students refuse to do it. I have to force them after school to do it. They are not happy with me. Honestly, I'm so sorry, Ziying. These are my NA class. Say, no need, Mr. Sean, do extra thing for F, for what, all this. But after when they graduated, they go out to work and study and came back and visit us during Teachers' Day. Say, hey, Mr. Sean, thank you. Actually, it's very useful social study. it really helped me to understand, to make comparison about people's attitude towards me and how to this. That's how, yeah. And also good now for me now, because I know that study is very important. I'm now comparing what kind of courses would be suitable for me for my future interview. Okay, so please. Then say, and when you say, from there, I understand how people talk to me when I was working in part-time job, the tone, and what is the purpose when they talk to me, that kind of tone, they want me to do certain things. Now I understand why. See? So please, if the teacher's not sharing with you, I don't think, because I need to emphasize this. Because over the years, I've been teaching SS for 10 over years. I heard a lot of story from my other students from other schools. My teacher say no need to talk about purpose and tone. As long as you can find the similarity and differences, okay 了。去死啊，不可以。Sorry. Time of comparison, take note. So, out of this one, I don't want to confuse you. Do you know, look here, seriously, Zhao Xuan, can you turn on your camera, please? No, you don't talk, you don't talk. You no need to talk. I just want to see your cute face cam already. Okay, please turn on your camera. You don't need to talk. Okay, guys, there is one question here that they only talk about similar only. That means you don't need to talk about difference. There's another question like, for example, to what extent are this, okay, for example, I don't confuse you, like how similar are source B? That means you talk both similar and differences. How different you also have to talk. To what extent, like this type of two questions, the example 3 and 4, okay, they might only tell you, okay, just talk about similarity, but don't talk about differences. So far, there's one came out like that, and some students do both. So far, I know. There is also how far does source A similar to source B? If you see this kind of question, how far does source A, usually you have to do comparison. But if something to what extent, they only talk about similar. They don't ask you for differences. Put calendar. Then you look at the mark. If it's 4 marks, and not 6 marks, that means you know you only talk about similarity already. Take note, okay? 贝哥，你明白我讲什么吗？贝哥 By right, you all are trained now. When they say how similar, right? You have to write one paragraph similar, 对吗？ One paragraph difference, 对吗？乔欣，对不对？ Then the third paragraph will be your tone and purpose, 对不对？那个只是1分而已吗？可是有些只是讲 similar 就好了，还是有些只是讲 different one paragraph 就好了。So you have to look at the mark allocations, 明白吗？哦 ，so be careful 哦，贝坤，小心啊。Okay. In the above question, you need to answer based on both similarity. This comparison could be based on provenance, they say, content, tone, or purpose, depending on the richness of the source. You see, that's the last part. Richness means the amount of mark allocated. Please check your mark. I'm seriously. Okay, later I'll tell you why check your mark. Ziying, remind me to talk about the marks allocation of time. Right, practice time. Okay, a view of Norton. This one, I think I should not go through this one with you because this one is my old previous SS questions. Let me see, I used another one. So Zhao Xuan, are you able to turn on your camera now? Why? Why you cannot turn on your camera? You don't need to talk, you just turn on your camera and see your face cam already. If not, you'll be affect your ABC student performance appraisal. Thank you. Okay. Now there are these skills of comparing source. Take note of this one. See, study source B and C. How different, similar? So explain your answer. These are the type of questions that you will see in your O level or even your prelim. Okay, take note. How far, to what extent? Okay, all this must talk about both similar and difference. Okay, this one, come here. Look here. Can you copy somewhere, take a picture for this one, children? Zhao Xuan, wait for Jialing. This one is important. So you see, one paragraph for similar difference in content, then the other one similar difference in another paragraph, tone and purpose. I'm not sure, Qiao Xing, how your teacher taught you in school about comparison skill. You want to share?
It's quite similar. You just need to differentiate the question from like how similar are these two sources or how are these two sources similar. That will depend on that will affect how many paragraphs you write for like how many paragraphs for similar, how many paragraphs for differences. Afterwards, you put either purpose or tone. Tone is only if there is purpose is only if there is a purpose that you can see.
Oh, lucky I asked you, my dear. In fact, every source, take note, in fact, every source has a purpose to it. In fact, every source has a tone to it. In fact, every source from source A to source F is all very useful. But which source is reliable will depends on the provenance. Take note, say. Okay, I would disagree what your teachers roughly say is that depends on. In fact, every source has its purpose to say it. It's how much the weightage of saying it. Okay, and what kind of tone mentioned. So, for example, Qiao you got 6 workers come to you, Qiao 老板，我今天不想做工。OK， 听啊，6个工人来 ，so they got purpose not to work, right? Correct 啊，Qiao correct. Right, so 老板 ，so worker A， 我老婆要生孩子了 ，OK， 所以他今天不要做工。Worker B， 我要带我妈妈去看医生。Worker C， 我的工人不舒服，我要带他去 check up。Worker D， 我孩子今天放学没有人照顾。Worker 5， 老板，我今天要跟我的未婚妻去准备ROM， 你懂什么是 ROM 吗？你懂什么是 ROM？ 被坤刚才 WhatsApp me 就是 Register of Marriage，
like what BTO that type。
对对对，贝坤刚才跟我讲，他要去 ROM after end of this year， 就是说 Register of Marriage， 要结婚了。对对，然后他结婚了就然后就去 BTO 找屋子，对对。所以我跟 5是贝坤小心他要去Register Marriage。老板，我找到今天的黄道吉日了，我一定要 ROM 的 ，OK？ Passage 6老板，我的狗pass away， 我要去吊山，我的狗听好不是我的 daddy pass away 我的狗 pass away。you all laugh, right? Of course, worker 6 is will be ridiculous, correct? Dog die 吗 ？die 就 die 了，周末。correct 吗？对吗？嘉玲，你回来了吗？还没有。杨相 you agree 了 ？dog 死掉吗 ？If I think Qiao Sing, you give the grants to for worker 1 to 5, you will grant them the off day, right? Will you give the last one?
Guess so, cause I give the first 5 already one.
哎呀，一视同仁啊！好。漂亮，哇！这种老板记住以后安哥老了我去找你等你不要请我，我会用这个 recording 做 evidence 你这个没良心的学生，以前你说会给我，你现在不要给我honestly you're right 啦I all agree 了 I think most of you will not give the last one, but everyone have the purpose of it. You can see do you know the first 5 is definitely important, right? 子英agree 了，子英 the one 那被婚要结婚那个什么要带孩子啦，对不对要买屋子要什么 But do you know the last one might be the best reason? Because the dog happened to save Qiao Sing son when the son was crossing the road. The dog saved his son's life and got killed in the accident. Or maybe the dog happened to bark at it because someone set fire at Qiao Sing warehouse, jealous. Then he got injured. You get the idea, you have to look through what is the behind the purpose and the tone of it. You cannot just because the dog died, please, don't 我的蟑螂小强死掉了，我要出兵那个你笑那个蟑螂怎么 protect 那个 warehouse， 对不对？你听过 right? Dog is always a faithful and loyal dog, right? Right? You get what I'm saying now? 贝棍 You will laugh, where the hell? Dog only no big deal. But do you know, to some people, dogs are really big deal. It's part of the family member. True not? Jialing, correct? So guys, I hope this example tells you, Qiao Sing, thanks to Qiao Sing, he give me this example. This example I'm not prepared one. You mean by So at least, Okay, that's the reason. All right, next one. Can you write down this? Source, the type of origins. I think some of you have content. You must know the content. Remember, Pei Kun, the last one is the dog one, passed away, right? So the content is still, you see, like the problem is that worker 6 want to attend the dog funeral. Wow, this kind, how can it be granted off day? But when you read the content, Pei Kun, that the dog was killed because of fire or accident, then it's a different story, right? True or not? If without this dog, the whole company will go bankrupt, the whole warehouse will be burned down. True or not, Ziying? 虽然是一个畜生可是它也是有人性明白吗？ Now you understand, Ziying, social study is all about the heart and love. It's not about hatred. Okay? So I hope understand purpose and tone. So children, from now on, if you can practice it with the tone and purpose. So source, okay, who wrote this source? Okay. Now you must know who wrote the source, who made these statements, who drew these cartoons. Now all these are importance of the prominence. Where are these source published? Is it from, okay, some of you are doing history, you know imagine that if someone from a Nanjing Datusha, the survivors say that the Japanese soldiers are good. Do you think it's funny? No, it's not funny. Maybe there's a reason for it, right? You see, do you agree? Yang Xiang and Jia Ling and Zhao Xuan. Zhao Xuan, 你是读 Chinese literature, thumbs up, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, all of you. Do you agree? 我们说老实我也是很痛恨 Japanese soldiers during World War II, where destroy some of my grandparents' relative and my grandparents. And my grandfather died of TB during the Japanese World War II, of course. But why I still learning Japanese? Why I still buying Japanese car, Japanese thing? And why I like Japanese girl? I'm sorry, I like Japanese product. Shh. Hey, stop it. Yang Xiang, well, you laugh until so loud. Yeah, lucky my wife is not beside me. Ziying, you heard what I said? No. Shh. Okay, joke lah. This is to draw attention. You see, Yang Xiang was very fast. Wow. But do you all agree? Joke aside, Yang Xiang, joke aside. Do you think all during World War II, all the Japanese soldiers support Emperor Hirohito to go for World War II? No, right? Agree not, Xiao Xing? No, right? Do you know in Singapore, there's this SOKA, S-O-K-A. Can you Google it now? In Tampines, S-O-K-A. This group of Japanese peoples are anti-war. Do you know that? Do you know not? See? You know, every year National Day in Singapore, this group of SOKA is Singaporean. 他们是崇拜日本神拜日本神It's called the SOKA. You can Google it, okay? It's very big. It's very huge. And you know why I know, because my daughter's boyfriend is in this religion. And I was surprised that time when my friend passed away, died in a very tragic death. So his relative came to Singapore. He wanted me to bring him to the Tampines SOKA. At first, I don't know, 我不懂它的来龙去脉. When I read the article, why they are so anti-Japanese until they refuse to carry arms, until they have to go to jail and refuse to fight. No, SOKA, SOKA. Okay, it is an abbreviation or something, I can't remember. Association. The A last is association. So Yang Xiang, you look okay, joke aside of course the Japanese girl anime or whatever it is, okay. But anyway, there's a joke. Some of my students are saying, at least I don't go to Seoul. Why? It's all plastic city. You know it's plastic, right? Plastic surgery. I don't want to go to Seoul. Why? Because I walk on the street of Seoul are all plastic people. Very bad, very mean, right? Okay. So I don't want to comment on all these things. I got Korean soldier. I got Korean student. Okay. And my daughter hospital also Korean guy. So now take note now, not everyone's are bad people. Okay, the Japanese during the World War II, not all soldiers are bad. At least there's 1 or 2% they are good people who really help. So don't every time affected when someone you are biased, good luck to you. Okay, social study cannot put your hatred in. Take note now. You must put your impartial attitude right now. You know it's impartial now. Xing Chen. Mr. Xing Chen, do you know what impartial means?
Unbiased.
Yes. 记住哈。Right, 嘉玲, no biasness, 一视同仁. The moment if you have this biasness to go in, you cannot do any source already. Okay, you are like the judge. So content is what do the source actually says, what can you infer from the source, and what is the topic arise, right? So later we'll talk about it in our homework. How do the writers feel towards the issue? So like the football, that, for example, the Manchester United and the Liverpool's comments from the writers, it definitely has different sets of biases. In the biases inside the source, you are the judge of saying that you have to, can I use the word, you have to filter it. You know, like tea bag, right? You have to filter, right? The water will go down, you can drink, but the leaf is still useful, correct? The leaf can still use for fertilizer, 对不对? Can use for other things, like to do washings. So every single word inside the source speaks evidence in it. So you have to filter it out and see, like look at the Liverpool. Within a source itself, you can be positive, negative, and neutral. Don't tell me, Uncle Raymond, I don't know what is he saying, because of honesty, 你没有举一反三. You know what is that? You did not think 3 times. That's like Qiao Xing and Yang Xiang, first time look at the girl, hey, can you be my girlfriend? You never look through 3 things, the background, the everything. Like what, for example, if you want to infer of 2 pens, a red pen and a blue pen, the first thing is the color, correct? Then the shape, then the brand, correct now? Then the smoother of writing. It's the same thing when you want to compare 2 persons, okay? 一个马来人, 一个华人, then you will talk about color. Then we'll talk about the race, talk about the religions. So inference comparisons is similar like that. Talk about the color, shapes, and size, and height, and everything. But all these can definitely affect your comparison skill or inference skill or reliability skill or assertion skill, because each one has a story to say. So that is the tone, that is the purpose, why. So can you imagine if this source come out to talk about a Malay and a Chinese in source space, okay? Bei Kun, Zhao Xuan, maybe Zhao Xuan you can type, Jia Ling. If you saw a source-based question, Jia Ling, a Malay and a Chinese, okay? The Malay say, well, your Chinese just no right say, your Chinese always do this kind of job. Then the Chinese guy will say, your Malay also do this kind of job. Does this consider biasness? Jia Ling.
Should be.
Yeah, definitely biasness within. Okay, Qiao Xing, can you imagine? I want to know. Every time, you say, GrabFood, GrabFood, right? GrabFood got a lot of different type of people, correct? Got Malay, got Chinese, got Indian, correct? You know, right? True, right? Have you ever seen Amor do GrabFood? You know it's Amor, right? 老外 right? Imagine 叮咚，小姐就是你的 Starbucks。哇，外国人就讲华文呢 ，steady right? Is it surprising? Yang Xiang, Jia Ling, and Qiao Xing, do you think it's surprised?
Not really.
Do you know recently got this GrabFood guy, 1 month can earn $8,000? You know, right? You know, you heard about this, like $8,000. One of them can earn $10,000. Very hardworking, right? But why I'm saying that? Because what is the purpose? If there's this pictures, there's a Malay and a Chinese who's saying this. Then you have to look at children, you have to look at the provenance. Right now, anything that is a view from a blogger, you know, as a blogger, you write down it's a pinch of salt. You know, it's a pinch of salt. That means don't take it very seriously. But you have to, hey, wait. Why do you think the teacher or the government MOE want to put this source in? Why? Just like remember, Ziying, about the worker number 6, the dog died already, correct? Why? Why must the examiner want to put this source in set by a blogger? Why? Why? Seriously, can I hear all your views? Okay, let's start with Qiao-Xing. 为什么是 blogger? 你们就then take a pinch of salt. Why?
First of all, because it's not from an official source. Then second of all, the blogger can be just talking about his own opinions, not being fact-based.
Stop. You say opinion. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong also can be own opinion. Straits Times also can be own opinion. And then the presidents of Joe Biden also can be personal opinion. What's wrong with personal opinion? You can continue from there, please. Thank you.
Like personal opinion, like might not be fact-based, meaning that what they say might not be true for everyone. It's just what they observe.
Karen, I'm typing something to you only. Okay. After you finish, I'll send the answer to you, Qiao-Xing. Okay. Any more?
Then also, it's generally frowned upon to have like take discussions online like at face value because
I like the word face value. Okay. I will rebuke that later for face value. Carry on.
Because they might have ulterior motives when posting this blog, which is more often than not found on like the people who post like found in blogs lah.
What did I send to you? Shh. Okay. All right. Let's hear from Pei Kun. Why do you don't trust the blogger? Or even let me sorry. If there's a blogger, there's a Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, and say from your grandfather who say that, or opposition party, or Straits Times, or the CNA, or the New York Times, or even the President of the United States. Why out of so many people, the blogger is the worst, least, the purpose is the worst or the least that you will trust? Back to you, Pei Kun.
It's because like for the blogger, it's actually not very reliable because like it's not kind of verified by other people. Like in newspapers, like people will kind of check it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry. Yes. I thought you finished. Yeah. Carry on.
And for the Prime Minister, like need to be true, or else later there will be like setbacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. Thank you, sir. Xing Chen, why do you think the bloggers is the worst one to be believed in?
Can you repeat that again?
Why do you think out of so many bloggers, presidents of United States, CNA News, why bloggers is the ones that is the least not to be based on the trust, and what they say is not reliable?
Anyone can post a blog,
That's all?
and usually it's anonymous, so they can get away with saying anything, so they tend to say more lies.
Okay, that's all?
There's less incentive to tell the truth.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Jialing, Zhao Xuan, since you cannot talk, you need to participate. Please type, because I'll be checking on your SPA, Student Performance Appraiser of ABC, right? Carry on, Jialing.
I think because like bloggers, like anyone can do it. So like everyone have their own opinions. They tend to be biased on their thoughts and like opinion about the matter.
That's all?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all, How about Yang Xiang?
Because if you post on a blog, it's one person's opinion, and one person's opinion cannot represent everyone's opinion. So
What talk you? Joe Biden also one person opinion.
no, but
What talk you?
No,
You
you see,
Biden,
you see,
are you racist?
he has,
Are you problem? You got color problem?
he has
Are you attack the people?
he has a team
Objection.
behind him. He has a management team behind him.
Oh, why the blogger cannot lah? Blogger also got management team. He just like don't want to say. You got problem? You say, you got problem? You got problem? The blogger is a Malay, okay? Racist. Swing racist. Oh, don't introduce girlfriend to him already. Racist. Don't introduce Malaysia. But I like the argument. I'm just joking. I only forgive. Okay, any more? Oh, very, very hot. Very kamjiong, excited. Yeah. What else? Any more? Angry already. You don't want to say already. Yang Xiang angry already. Right.
Don't have any more ideas already.
Okay. Okay, back to you, Zing.
Bloggers can the stuff they post, sometimes they can just do it for attention.
Sorry, you're lagging. 对不起，你再讲多一次好吗？ Your mic is not very clear. I'm so sorry.
Bloggers can sometimes post their stuff for the attention and likes. So sometimes what they say could be a little not that true. Not all parts of the story is true. Like some of them are just exaggerated.
Oh, so you say the influencer like IG live like yesterday I did my IG live not real So those Lee Hsien Loong do IG live, all these cannot trust the influencer all these nice influencer cannot trust, is it? All of you after listening, I haven't hear Zhao Xuan's answer. I think Zhao Xuan's answer should be very close to what I think you're going to say on that, because Zhao Xuan, do you have your answer? Zhao Xuan, are you there? Do you have your answer? If not, I will review the answer. No, so what I think I'm very happy after listening to all your answer. Yes, bloggers cannot represent their views because it's anonymous and it's one view. And when you say blogger means, can you write down? It doesn't carry any weightage. 没有那个分量. It doesn't have a good reputation. Right now, please. If someone to tell you that this is a blogger, that means you must hesitate to say, hey, look, is this true or not? Is it a fake news or not? But if it's a reputable source, like from Straits Times, even though it's a national newspaper, it's kind of be biased, most people say, or even in the Facebook, but there's some people like the ex-Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong, or even ex-Obama who say that you must take care of the environment, or even Bill Gates, or even Bill Clinton, or even Xi Jinping. Now, all these are not bloggers. They are reputable professionals, and they carry weight when they say something. They have no hidden agenda. They may have hidden agenda, maybe, or they may have an ultimate motive, but it is a very clear cut that is talking about certain positive things. Take for example, like now everyone's are very anti-Putin. Okay, about the war. Whatever he say is definitely is very famous. Whatever he say, people, half of the world will not believe in him, right? But if you say, if it's the bloggers to say that Putin is a lousy person, people will say this guy must be a supporter of NATO, right? So take note now. So this is very important because blogger itself, they want to put it inside as part of the source is to actually tell you that not all the sources are reliable. But the source the blogger is useful is to tell you that there are still certain right now, there's still certain percentage of people may not like the ideas of certain things. 明白吗? So when you say blogger itself is that you can be any Tom, Dick, and Harry. All right, okay? So I will stop here because I need to go through the homework because I still got a few slides, but I think I should spend times to go through the homework now, which is, can you refer to your question paper if you have it now? So questions, where is it? Okay, guys, please take note of this one. Okay, Zing, if you see, if this is a 5 marks, take note, children, please pay attention, Zhao Xuan. I hope all of you, Jialing, Yang Xiang, please focus, Xing Chen, focus here, please focus on my screen. If it's a 5 marks, please spend about 10 minutes for that questions. Okay, double of it. So if this is a 6 mark, double of it will be 12 minutes. Right? If it's a 7 mark, double of it is 14 minutes. And same as go for this one here. And of course, if this is a 10 marks, spend 10, 20 minutes. It's very long, right? to be honest, I already checked already. If you spend all this, it's enough with 1 hour and 40 minutes. I can't remember 1 hour 40 minutes or 50 minutes. It's more than enough. See? In fact, with the SRQ, with the 8 marks and 7 marks, 8 marks means 16 minutes. 7 marks will be 40 minutes. It's more than enough for that 1 hour and 40 minutes. Even you have 5 minutes of extra time to go through all the questions to check. All right. So take note of this. Now, background information. May I urge you, all of you, okay, let me start. Maybe Ziying, you're new to it. My advice, the background information, you must read and you must choose. Okay, if this is, how many questions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there's 5 questions, I will choose 5 keywords from here. Jia Ling, 你读了哦，刚才。有吗 ？Okay, 杨香读了。Okay, Ziying, can you read to the class, please?
Singapore is a young nation built on a multiracial and multi-religious society founded by immigrants. As such, forming a unifying identity for Singapore has never been easy or straight.
Wait. Did I choose the correct one? Oh, no. I chose the wrong one. Sorry. Not this one. Sorry. Sorry. I chose the wrong one. Not this one. That's why I read the review. I'm talking about this one. I'm so sorry. This is the one we're going to do. Okay, let's go.
Singapore has been a model nation of developed world and has achieved remarkable economic development since its independence. In 2016, Singapore was ranked third on the World Bank list of the 25 richest countries in the world. However, the issues of income inequality and poverty continue to affect the segments of the population who are struggling to make ends meet and have insufficient resources to get by. While the government has taken measures to help the poor by providing them with financial assistance and skills upgrading courses, critics believe that it is not enough. It was reported in 2017 that within the 3 years from 2012 to 2015, there was a 43.45% increase in the number of families who are under poverty and require financial assistance from the government. Critics also argue that the lack of an official poverty line in Singapore is also a problem when dealing with poverty in Singapore, as there is a lack of clear definition that defines who is living in poverty. Hong Kong's decision to set a poverty line in September 2013 as a way to better identify and assist its poor has prompted a similar debate in Singapore. There were calls by Singaporean public for the government to do the same.
These are the 5 keywords that I will choose when I'm going to answer all my 5 questions for this. Okay? So first, I would like all of you to take a look here to choose all your own 5 keywords. So if I can summarize this background information for this little person there here, this one, okay, it clearly shows that the topic is what? Is Singapore able to effectively manage the issue of poverty? So this passage talks about class identifications, meaning the lower class, middle class, and upper class. May I urge all of you who are listening here, please, for goodness sake, when you receive this background information, underline this like what I'm doing now, because ultimately all these words will definitely help you to answer all your source-based questions. If you do not believe in me, let's go and do the question together and prove it. All right. So take note of this. Right, Zhao Xuan, you see, this is your answer, right, Zhao Xuan? Are you there, Zhao Xuan? Yes, Zhao Xuan, you see, this is your passage. I already received. And please, for now on, I will not want to say deduct your marks or anything. For now on, I don't want to see any of my students to put an answer IDK. Okay, if you, let's say you don't know how to do the work, this question, don't put IDK. Okay, just say that, sorry, I do not know how to attend these questions very well. Don't put I don't know, okay? Now, let's look at Zhao Xuan's answer, something like that. Source A, you all have the question, You have the question, Chelsea, you ma? All of you have the questions? Okay, let's do it together. By the way, do you all do it now? Yang Xiang, do you all do it now? Do you write on the paper? Is there any difference? I don't know what you mean by any difference, Zhao Xuan. I don't get it. Yang Xiang, 有没有做 all the questions? Because I'm going to go through the answer now. Okay, so I hope you all can do all. Please, thanks. Okay. So I trust you. You all are set for already. I'm not going to say, hey, show me. Please take a picture now. Because now I have all of your handphones, so I don't want to do that. Okay, but I got a few questions to go. Let's talk about this inference. This one. This is from Zhao Xuan answer. Source is trying to tell me, please do not use the word trying. Take away trying for now and once and for all. I beg you, please. I'm serious. Source is telling us, don't say trying to. Don't say to a small extent, to a large extent, no more writing this way. Source A is telling us, informing us, is showing us that the government isn't doing anything to help the poor. Well done. Start with the focus questions about poverty. Infer, please. Then from the source, from what source? Oh, this one cannot type in, sorry. So from source A, it shows that the person is barely keeping himself over the poverty line standing on the dollar sign platform. He looks desperate, asking to help. There is no one around to help him. So what does it mean? Then you have to close the inverted, all right? Zhao Xuan. This tells us that the government isn't doing anything to help the poor. How? Okay, even the poor are in the desperate situations, like the one standing. That means show that the government do not really pay attention and care. So that's one. Therefore, source is trying to tell us the government responsibility is not there to help the poor. So this is only one inference. Okay, let's go through quickly. Source B agree with source C. I like the way you written it this way. That Singapore has many families that are poor. Okay, you focus. In source B, it states that there are this. Okay, this is a code. Well done. Similarly, in source C, okay, it states that this one, well done, admit that both sources are similar to each other. Therefore, source B agree to source C that many families. Okay, this is good. Okay, fine. You score some marks there. But source B does not agree. Then that's similarly. I like the way you say similarly, or you can say also. Well done. Okay. Then next one, source B does not agree with source C that Singapore government has done enough to help the poor. Then you quote Okay, this one I just go through quickly first. Then on the other hand, well done. Instead of using however, you use on the other hand. Okay, or you can say but. You can use but honestly, Yang Xiang and Pei Kun and Xing Chen, Jia Ling, don't use the word but. I would prefer use like on the other hand or however. So then you mention this. Okay, that shows that telling us like that. Zhao Xuan, source A. Okay, source A. Sorry. This one, what am I talking about? Okay, source B is telling us, like is telling us that the government has done enough. However, well done. That's the magic words. Does not have this. Okay, so these are the two questions, children. I hope you have write your answer. If not, then I'm so sorry. I have to go through the answer. My answer now, the answer from what I took from. Okay. Now, if you have written your answer and you find that your answer, hey uncle, my answer is better than your answer. Can I send it to you and mark for me? Yeah, that is my job, Correct. That's what Zhao Xuan has done, right? Correct. Asking me for the background information. That's why he's able to answer. So yes, please, of course lah. Let's read at the answer. Ready? The message of the source is that the government is not enough done to help. Is that the not enough? It's not wrong. The mistake. Grammatical mistake. It's not enough done to help Singapore living in poverty. That's a message. That's a focus point. Remember, I underlined just now, right? Take note. I give you one more time to look at the words that I underlined. You guys also have to underline this. You see, income inequality to make ends meet, financial assistance and help, and then official poverty line, which is the nose that one. That's what Zhao Xuan wrote, right? About tiptoeing to able in order to breathe. So that means their expenses is up to the nose. Then the Singapore public for the government to do the same public. So it's asking for help. So these are my 5 keywords when I'm doing my source date. It will definitely help me to answer it. Okay. Now let's go back to this answer. See, this can be supported. Can you write down from now on? Write this. This can be supported. Okay. This every time when you do your inference purpose, comparisons, reliability, usefulness, assertion, this can be supported. This can be supported by the source that shows a man, by the source A that shows the man. So it's like very long-winded, right? Isn't it this source A is telling you, you just be more specific. Okay, just like this by source A that shows a man. That, okay, well done, Zhao Xuan. See? Shows a man, or the cartoon shows a man stepping on the low ridge in the water with his nose barely out of the water, which is labeled poverty line. Correct now? Oh, Ziying, I underline poverty line, right? So you see, so I can use that poverty line to put it here already. Don't tell me, for goodness sake, don't tell me, hey, I lack a word. I don't know what. The background information is already giving some keywords for you to carry it over and put it here. 明白吗，杨香? Also inference, easy, huh? Not difficult, right? 贝坤, okay, huh? Jialing, okay? Zhao Xuan, are you okay? You did the first question very well, but only one inference, very sad. You're supposed to have 2 inference. Zhao Xuan, can you show me at least a thumbs up lah? Waiting for your answer. Thumbs up, please. Zhao Xuan, are you there? Good thing. Cannot talk already. Okay, so you're asking if anyone is going to help him. So it's evidence. Right? Correct now. FIEE. Focus, inference, evidence, and example or explain. You see? Okay, this shows that, remember, Zhao Xuan, you cannot say this is telling me, okay, Ziying, write down. This shows that not enough to help Singaporean, oh my goodness. So in Singaporean, oh my, I thought like Abing already. Singaporean, Xiaoxing, don't laugh at me, sorry. 人有措手，马有尸体。Singaporeans living in poverty and Singaporeans are suffering due to low wage and are struggling to survive, but no one is there to help. Okay, can you write down now the words, especially when you talk about this, write down the words suffering, surviving, ends meet, write down. Write down all these words, it will help you come out. Surviving, suffering, ends meet. And then to write this word down. Where's my link? Oh, sorry, I typed wrongly. Can you write these 3 words down, children? Right, Xiaoxing, just now I asked you to tell me, right, the AIM, right? Write down the aspiration, inspiration, and motivation. I was teaching my English class for my other levels. So one of my students, he haven't started social study. He's a Set 2 boy. He said the aspiration for all Singaporeans is to stay in a harmony situations. Okay, it's true. And this inspire every Singaporean to become to fulfill his dream, to become a successful Singaporeans, to motivate one another to live in a very harmony way. Wow. Not bad, huh? Okay, so write down this AIM. If you reverse it, it's called MIA. You agree? If you have no aim, you are missing in action. So you see, all of you should write okay, which one do you think is more important? Let's start with Chelsea. Is it the aspiration or inspiration or motivation to you?
Inspiration.
Thank you. Ziying?
Inspiration.
Wow, thank you. Pei Kun?
I think inspiration.
Thank you. Yang Xiang, your side got lightning ah? I saw your window got lightning. Wow. Raining already ah? My side got lightning and thunder so strong. Raining already ah? Okay. So which one is more important? A or I or M?
M.
M ah, motivation?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Jialing,
Motivation.
Zhao Xuan, which one do you think? Aspiration or inspiration or motivation? Can you type Zhao Xuan? Xing Chen, which one do you think is more important? I didn't see your face. You disappeared already. Can I see your face, please? Can I see all your face instead of hiding? Thank you. Which one is more important? I know you told me your answer before. Can you share with the class, please? Aspiration or inspiration or motivations? Hello, Zhao Xuan. Can you please help me whether you are there or not? You know, I keep calling you, I'm so very tired. Yes, Xing Chen.
Motivation.
Actually, Qiao Xing, and those of you who are choosing inspiration, it's more important than aspiration and motivation. Without the inspirations of, you guys, later you go and Google it and type. I think you need this AIM, nothing wrong. You see, without the, you see, you talk about Thomas Edison's, Isaac Newton's, Albert Einstein, or Beethoven's, okay, name all these famous people. What they become, they are being inspired to be a scientist, to be a musicians, to be whatever in their profession, right? What inspired them is because they see something, they want to create some new ideas, right? So, for example, I aspire to be a lawyer, but what inspired me to be a good lawyer? There is something behind a story. You get what I'm saying? Like Jack Ma. Jack Ma never aspired to be a businessman. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? But he inspired himself that because he was being rejected by KFC, right? Rejected a lot of jobs. So he inspired himself to become a very successful businessman because he was aspired for what he had lack of, and he motivated him to be a successful businessman. I believe that inspirations are more important first, because without the inspiration, without the creative juice that you have, you are not motivated to aspire to become a lawyer for me. So like Yang Xiang, if you say what motivates you to be a good shooter, why you choose your CCA, Zhiying? What motivates you to become that CCA? Must be something inspire you first, in my opinion, right? So for example, if you are like, for example, what inspire you and your husband to buy the house or motivate you to buy the house? Or it's not aspiration, because I've inspired to buy the house because you want your son to study near a school. That inspires you. So you find all reason, all possibility that you can set on. So I find that these questions, what inspire you? Oh, sorry, let's go to the guy who's standing there. What motivates you that this guy is really surviving and suffering under poverty? Because the inspiration is the fishes around them, right? The fishes, right? Because he don't want to be like the fish with the bones swimming. So it's bare minimum to survive through. So this, you can use that. So children, make sure that if you know how to use your AIM, it's very important, especially for the next 6 months. What inspires you to go to JC, or inspire you to go to JC, or motivate you to go to JC? Which one do you think is more important? Okay, without inspirations, Singapore today will not be the third world country. Yeah, the aspiration gives you the drive. I aspire to be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. Okay, I aspire to be a businessman because I don't want to be in poverty. But what inspired me is because of all the successful story that these poor people become businessmen. That inspired me to look for a way, you know what I mean? Look for a way to motivate me to earn more money. You need the aspiration, I agree. See, you need the aspiration first. But to me, that's why I say you're not wrong. It's how you say it, which AIM you want to use, but don't have MIA. MIA stands for mismanagement. Okay, then the I will be what is the I? I forgot already. Shucks. Idling. I myself wrote that, I also forgot about it. So sorry. I don't want to give you the wrong inspiration. Since we are here, okay, good. Look here. Okay, don't mind, since we are aspiration is a hope and ambitions to achieve something. Inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do something. Okay, and motivations like what Yang Xiang is the process to initiate. I think Jia Ling, you also choose motivation, right? So to me, it's this one. Then this is my indifference attitude, correct? I stand for indifference, that means you don't care. I feel 咯。No big deal 我的人就是这样，我就是一个烂人，我就是一个笨蛋，我就是没有用。So just like the guy standing there, right? 我就是没有钱我就等死咯，来救我。Indifference attitude, but you cannot stand there and wait for the water to go out above your nose, right? Correct? You must do something, correct? That means the government cannot be indifference attitude. You must help the poor. So you see the guy who's standing there is very aimless, right? Correct? You see the word aimless. What can't help? What to do? So how are you going to motivate the governments? Is it the inspiration to come up new package, new schemes? Okay. Well, I leave it to you. It's not wrong to use aspirations, but to me, I feel the aspirations will be it's a starting, it's a spark. Like a forest, a wildfire it start with the spark, which called the aspirations. But it's true, but I don't take as aspiration as my main focus point. I will choose my inspirations. Okay, I aspire to be a good teacher. But what inspired me most to become a teacher is because I used to be a very poor student. I was hopeless, I was aimless, I was indifferent. It inspired me because my teacher encouraged me and I see result. I'm hungry for success. So it inspired me to work harder. That means there is an ending point. My end point is the good result. That motivates me. And slowly it inspired me to be what I want today. Okay, so that's my explanation. You can disagree with me. But as long as you got the AIM, you should not be far away from any success. All right, so this is the answer. Thank you, Zhao Xuan. I'm not sure whether Zhao Xuan is there because he never answered me. Okay, let's move on to the next questions. Okay, study source B and C. To what extent will source B agree? Okay, look here. If you were to answer like that, source B will disagree with source C. Source C is by Straits Times, while source C is by One Singapore. Like that also got 1 mark. Don't do that. Okay, Yang Xiang, Jia Ling, Xing Chen, and Qiao Xing, and Zi Ying, and Yang Zhao Xuan. Don't do that, unless really got less than 1 minute to do, cannot, no time to write, then you write like that. And don't write like this also. As what our dear friend just now wrote like that, Zhao Xuan wrote like that. But you see, you got further add on. See, false matching. Source B will disagree with source C. Source B claim that Comcare will implement to help people, while source C did not also implement. Did he mention about this? If not, then no. Okay. So look at this one here. This is the answer that we need to read on. Okay, we don't want to read the 3 to 4 marks one. Take note. Source B will agree with source C in view similar. Okay, like that. And then you talk about difference. So by writing like that, like that, you still got 3 to 4 marks. 3 marks is only for this one. 4 marks is both. So we are not interested in this. We are more interested in writing something like that. Okay, I'm a bit tired to talk. 乔欣在吃东西不用紧。贝坤，不要，杨香。贝坤 can you read to the class, please?
Okay, so source B will agree with C in their views about that poverty is an issue that's affecting Singapore. Source B claims that poverty is an issue that affects Singaporeans. This can be supported by the source that says that a research conducted revealing that there were
all this,
300,266 families and individuals who were struggling to make ends meet in 2012, up from 19,072 5 years ago. This shows that poverty is an issue that affects Singaporeans, as a significant number of the population cannot cope with the cost of living in Singapore.
Write down this word. The cannot cope with the cost of living in Singapore. Write down, please. Because you will affect in your diversity issue. Why we need foreigners to come to Singapore and then they make the household expensive, make everything expensive because of all the foreigners come here. I cannot take it. I cannot take it when people say this type of stupid things. I call triple S. Super stupid, silly questions. Super silly, stupid question. Or 4S. Super stupid, shit, silly questions. Why? Because the cost of living is got to do with inflation about the world. It's not about foreigners coming to Singapore, right? Okay, right, carry on.
Similarly, Saucy also claims that poverty is an issue that affects Singaporeans. This can be supported by the source that states that 110,000 to 140,000 households in Singapore are unable to meet basic needs. This shows that poverty is an issue that affects Singaporeans as a significant number of population cannot cope with the cost of living in Singapore. Hence, source B will agree with C.
Okay, so it's similar, but difference?
Source B will disagree with C in their views with regard to whether the health.
Write down. Stop, write down. In their view, with regard to. Write down with regard to. Okay, keywords. Carry on.
Source B claims that enough is done to help those who are living in poverty. This can be supported by the source that states that these measures will be able to provide people the support they need to break out of this cycle of poverty.
Okay, stop here. I got students, Chao Xing and all of you listen, Jialing, that please do not quote this kind of quote like from here all the way here. My advice is with a proper sentence, okay, just take note. Don't quote too much, because sometimes over quote that particular quote might be used for other source. So you must know when to quote. Sometimes I ask my student, you can, for example, you got too much, you can use the dot, then continue if you want to. Okay, you know what I mean, right? The dot. All right. So please, not too long, nothing wrong to quote so long. But my advice is just within the, like this one. I find it's a bit long. Okay, carry on. This show.
This shows
that enough.
This shows that enough is done to help those who are living in poverty, as the policies implemented will be able to help individuals. In contrast, source C claims that not enough is done to help those who are living in poverty.
Thank you. You can change it to in contrast. You change it, however, on the contrary. That's what Zhao Xuan say, right? Carry on.
This can be supported by the source that says that on a macro level, there is an urgent need to examine the role of the government and individual responsibly and adjust wages so that everyone can earn an income that meets their living needs. This shows that not enough is done to help those who are living in poverty, as individuals are not paid enough and the governmental intervention is needed.
Okay, write down the word micro and macro. Write down. Micro is like individual. Okay, macro is like a government policy. Some of you next year, if you are going for JC, if you are taking economics, and ask your parents who they are doing economics, do you know that micro and macro economics are important? Take note, write down. Microeconomics, we are talking about demand and supply, about certain group of people, like, okay, Pei Kun, you want to buy a Hermes bag, you want to buy a Chanel bag, you want to buy a car, okay, that's you lah. Okay, you want to buy a car, right? That's micro, individual. But macro is that the COE, you know what COE, right? The car price. Then the taxes are coming in. These are called macro. That means government policy. Big one. Example, employment, unemployment, inflation. That is called macro. A big scale one. Macro level means a very big scale, super big one. Micro, just you know the word microscope, right? That means it's very focused to one individual. Take note, this one very important, Okay. So see, no purpose level. This one got no purpose level, but there is a purpose. The purpose is to tell the governments to wake up and start what? You see? Underline right here, and public for the government to do something to assist them. You see, income inequality and poverty, to make ends meet. The purpose is to tell the governments to take serious action right now, to take serious actions to combat the poverty line, because it's out of what? Can someone tell me it's out of what? Yes, Chelsea, we'll take a big breath. Out of what?
Out of control.
Yes, I was not looking at that word. I was thinking of out of hand, out of control. Well done. 1 mark for your creativity. Thank you. Okay, so go back to this one again. So next questions. I already giving you the answer, so I think it's quite easy to do now. If you don't want to do, then I have to move on. Okay, how far does source D prove that not enough is done to help? 7 marks. So what you're going to do is that it prove right. So is it reliable and usefulness, reliability? Source prove. Okay. So we are not interested to look at the 2 and 3 marks now. Okay, does not prove. So remember, oh yes, if you ask question, I prove. Write down. Yes, it proved. No, it not proof. If you're going to write one side, also sorry, good luck to you. No mark. So I'm going to skip from here. Okay, let's go. Chelsea.
Based on cross-referencing, source D proves that not enough is done to help Singaporeans living in poverty. Source D claims that there is not enough is done to help Singaporeans living in poverty. This can be supported by the source that no one can afford to get sick in this house because our finances are too light. This shows that not enough is done to help.
Okay. This question is definitely reliability. We talk about 3C right now. First is cross-referencing. You see, the way I pronounce. Cross-referencing. The second one is claim. You know, claim from where? What is the provenance talking about? The third one is to check whether is it reliable or not. Okay, that's a 3C. Carry on.
Singaporeans living in poverty as they cannot afford basic things like healthcare. This can be cross-referenced to source C. Source C claims that not enough is done to help those who are living in poverty. This can be supported by the source that states that on a macro level, there is an urgent need to re-examine the role of the government and individual responsibility and adjust wages so that everyone can earn income that meets their living needs. This
Remember,
shows
we go back to the cost of living, the keyword cost of living. Carry on.
This shows that not enough is done to help those who are living in poverty, as individuals are not paid enough and a government intervention is not.
Write down the word governmental interventions. Write down this word governmental interventions. I'm going to give you the keyword. Ready? Government intervention, number 1, poverty. Number 2, employment. 对吗? Because if there's high employment, 笑了. Okay, we will die. Number 3, government interventions on inflation. Write down. I will forget. Yang Xiang, all of you write down. Xing Chen, are you there? Why I keep not seeing your head there? Yeah, you show your thumbs, no point. Only Zhao Qian, no need to see face. I have to see your face. All right. So next, government interventions about unemployment, poverty, write down. Cost of living, housing, write down housing, housing, and inflation, recessions, government intervention of terrorists, write down, government interventions of social economical status. You know what social economic status, right? The high income, low income, middle income. 对吗, Yang Xiang? Right. Social economic status, SES. Write down. Have to intervene. Right? You know how they intervene? 3 words. Start with T. 3 words. Start with T. What is the 3 words? Start with T. Government interventions. You cannot let Singapore rich get richer, the poor get poorer, right? It's happening to US, correct?
Texas.
Then Confirm 9 mark for you today. Taxes right now, government intervention on taxes, especially the recently everyone is saying this. Start with G, 3 alphabet. Yes, right down, correct. Government intervention of GST, the taxes, well done. Must write, must write. Please, Pei Kun, must write, Jia Ling, must write. Please, 躲long, 求求你. Okay, carry on, Chelsea. Since
source C supports source D, source D is unreliable. Hence, source D proves that not enough is done to help Singaporeans living in poverty.
Sorry, thank you very much. Can I have all of you write this as a template? Can you put that since source, then you put that since source, then you put dash, ABC. Support source, then dash. Source dash is reliable. Hence, source dash prove that not enough is done. Right now, this will be your template for reliability. Can you do now? Can you do now? Write down on a piece of paper. So this is a template to answer it, to support it. Get it? That's for proof. You can take a picture if you want to. Can I move on? Chelsea?
Source D does not prove that enough is done to help Singaporeans living in poverty. Source D hopes to convince the international community who are concerned about the issue of poverty that Singapore has not successfully managed the issue of poverty. By doing so, it hopes that the international community who are concerned about the issue of poverty will pressure Singapore government to do more to help those who are living in poverty. Since the source is published in an article titled Singapore's Hidden Poverty Problem, it is very likely that it will present the situation in a very bad light in order to convince the people of the severity of the situation. Hence, it is a biased source and not very reliable. Hence, it does not prove that.
Yes. So you see, now you understand why the prominence is also important to tell you, right? Just like a blogger, okay, to say that, okay, because if you look at the title, the article, Singapore Hidden Poverty Problem, it is very unlikely in the present situation. So not true. I would say this one might be, if let's say this is a research paper by the World Health Organizations or the United Nations, all these carry weights to substantiate the claims, the cross-referencing, and as well as the checking of that really there's such thing happenings. And to come back to you, Ziying, yes, government interventions, not just in pandemic, well said, confirmed today also got extra point for your creativity, Ziying. Not just the pandemic, girl, can you just retype and send to everyone? The government intervention in pandemic as well as the healthcare. Right now, healthcare, correct now? You see, if the government don't intervene in the healthcare, meaning the trace together, the vaccinations, the quarantine, the VTL vaccination travel lines, or even the circuit breakers, this without the government interventions, it will cause a heavy death tolls or mortality rates in Singapore. As a result, people will not trust. Now, children, this is a very bloody damn good question, Ziying. Well done. Because recently I read this article. Okay, very good. Take serious on that. Because it will definitely affect your future, Ziying. And all of you are Pei Kun, Zhao Xuan, everyone here listening, Jia Ling and Chelsea. This pandemic, seriously, this pandemic is a matter of time to go off, right? Okay. After 5 years later, which is say now you're 21 years old, right? You go for overseas and study and you met your friends in the overseas. Yang Xiang and all of you, your friend will say, hey, you come from Singapore. I heard that time your government did a good job for the pandemic. Wow, I'm so proud of you. And you guys play a part also, right? Correct now? Even though you're a student, you play a part, right? Hey, how the bloody hell you all survive through? So emotional damage. They say, I got no emotional damage. I'm very emotional, very good. So, okay, joke aside, you see the weightage now. You see, they will ask Ziying, right? You're from Singaporean, right? They will not ask the classmate from Malaysia, from Thailand, Sawadee Krap, you're very nice, you come to Thailand. No, They don't ask from Thailand, they don't ask from Hong Kong, they don't ask from Malaysia, they don't ask from Indonesia. They ask from the horse's mouth from you, Ziying. Hey, you Singaporean, right? You stay there very years, how you're true? Well, did a marvelous job. You see, you get an impact now. You see the proof and not proof. Because you are there, yeah, that is my country. Though I'm not from Singapore, I was there, I migrated there, I choose the right path, but I may not continue to stay in Singapore. Hey, why? Because I got other path. I might want to follow my husband who are working in another country. Or Beikun, so my wife is have a project in another country, I might be following her. Nothing wrong, right? Beikun, correct? Right? Unless you tell me you go to North Pole. Why? Because my whole family want to work with the penguin. Nothing wrong, right? Hey, don't laugh. Nothing wrong because your wife is a scientist. Right? True or not? Maybe you found out penguin got a special cell that can kill cancer. True or not? It's not like Batman. I'm not talking about Batman. 乔欣不要笑吼。幸亏是 penguin 不是 polar bear. Oh my goodness. Hi polar. Sorry. Okay. So joke aside, you realize that this is a very important, thanks to you, Ziying. The government intervention sometimes got the good and bad. If you look at it now, I put thing, I see the Shanghai recently very bad. Any friends that are there in Shanghai? It's quite ridiculous, right? The people cannot go out from the house, cannot have this, and they want to have zero COVID-19, and then end up the healthcare was upside down. So this is Ziying, the government intervention 他们错吗？怎么讲？他们没有错，其实他们是要保护人民的卫生跟人民的生命跟人民的财产，没有错。难道你要像美国这样啊 ？It's my right. I don't put that mask. Hello, you go US good luck to you. Your color and my color will show color and thumb left and right. 对吗？好，杨香 ，correct 啦。好 ，agree 了，杨香。Even the girl there is very pretty lah, but I don't like. I prefer Japanese girl. Thank you. Okay, just kidding. Now take note of this. Thank you, Ziying. Very good questions. It is very good because the report was saying that after this pandemic, people are starting to invest in Singapore. I'm also doing my business in eco-friendly and ask people from other countries, wow, well done, your government has done a good job. Nobody is perfect. But because of this pandemic, you know, right, Ziying, now they're looking for the 4G governments, right? Mr. Lawrence Wong, right? I think you all have seen him, how he do his comparison skill, his inference skill, right? His reliability skill about how to go through the process of taking care of a country, right? I think we are in definitely good hand under him. Okay, so Source Day, come, my dear. You haven't finished, Jiao Xing.
Source D proves that not enough is done to help Singaporeans living in poverty. Source D hopes to convince the international community who are concerned about the issue of poverty that Singapore has not successfully managed the issue of poverty. By doing so, it hopes that the international community who are concerned about the issue of poverty will pressure the government, Singapore government, to do more help those who are living in poverty. Since Source is by BBC, a third neutral party, it is very unlikely that only hope is to shed light on the issue. It's very likely that it's only hopes to shed light on the issue and help bring about positive change by spreading awareness of the existing problems of poverty, even in developed countries like Singapore. Since there is no vested interest, it is likely to be objective. Hence, it is a reliable source that can prove that not enough is done to help Singaporeans living in poverty.
I want to emphasize, it's not I keep calling Ziying or Jialing or Beikun. That because you are not paying attention. No, okay, or not, I'm interested to don't call Yang Xiang or Zhao Xuan, because all of you are important. So by looking at it, guys, can you write down this word? You see, about the positive change by spreading awareness, right? Why don't you change you can use another word, by change by spreading attentions, awareness, alertness. Write down, please. And it is good that I like this word, vested interest. So now you understand, Ziying. You see, all the prominents got three, the plus, the minus, the neutral. So this one is definitely neutral. Then write down, because I have no vested interest, I have no hidden agenda, I have no ultimate motive. Therefore, I'm sitting on the fence to give a very start with F word. It's an F word. What view? It's an F word. 公平的 看法
fair view.
Thank you. Write down. It's a fair view. It's an unbiased view. 对吗 ？So 杨相 for example， 你的儿子打破你的花瓶 ，right？ then 你的老二打破花瓶，老大每次跟老二吵架，老大说 Daddy 呀，是老二打破花瓶，他很坏蛋。then 你的老三讲 Daddy， 对，是老二狗狗打破花瓶，可是他因为了帮我拿东西，怕花瓶打到我的头，他推掉那个花瓶。OK，right？ Then you know 老二跟老三每次是好兄弟了，他可能是老三打破还是老二打破 ？OK？Then later your mate Sir, actually it's not second boy spoil, is actually grandma accidentally knock. That's 就是你妈妈啦，对吗？她老了嘛，可能她走路比较慢，不小心看不到打破花瓶来。可是你老二帮你的妈妈顶住那个 ，So do you trust the maid 呢？杨相you don't trust the maid
打上来
Sorry,
啊，
you trust the maid, right? Because he got no vested interest, right? Right? You know your mate will definitely be saying the truth. Get the idea now? So there is no vested. You see, you realize that like this one also can use in real life, right? Correct now. So doesn't mean by what you learn here in this cannot apply in the real life. Okay, so right now, the vested interest, and it's likely to be right now objective. It's not subjective. Okay, source E. We talk about how different views about the poverty line. Does that one means wrong? Okay, I have to go through the questions. Don't mind. Even though it takes a while for you to digest. So sorry. Okay. Okay, a quick ones. Back to you, Xing Chen. Will you mind read to the class, please? Give me a minute. Let's see. Should we go by this one first? Okay, let's read this one first. Let's go. Xing Chen, let's go.
Source E and F have differing views about the need for a poverty line. Source E claims that there is no need for a poverty line in Singapore. This can be supported by the source, which states that our assessment process is rigorous but also flexible to cater to the genuinely needy. Singaporeans who do not meet scheme criteria but who still deserve help can receive assistance. This shows that there is no need for a poverty line in Singapore, as Singaporeans are still able to receive adequate help without an official poverty line. In contrast, Source F claims that there is a need for a poverty line in Singapore. This can be supported by, without an official line, how can a country effectively tackle a problem in which we cannot define? This shows that there is a need for a poverty line in Singapore, as it will the government to better.
As he will, okay, one more time. This shows that there is a need for a poverty line in Singapore, as he will let the government do better deal with the issue. A bit broken now, the English, okay, never mind. So based on this one, based on the analysis of provenance and purpose, write down this one. Okay, carry on, Xing Chen. Xing Chen, based on the analysis.
Based on analysis of provenance and purpose, although the two sources are different, it does not mean that one is wrong. Source E is a statement by the Minister for Social and Family Development in response to the public's call to implement a poverty line in Singapore. He hopes to convince Singaporeans that a poverty line is not needed in Singapore. By doing so, it hopes to convince Singaporeans not to pressure the government to adopt an official poverty line and to trust what the government is going to tackle the issue.
Remember my CMAO, the context, the message, the audience, and the outcome. See, same. Okay, it's there, but a bit different because it used the stand. Okay, carry on. So it's CMAO, context, message, audience, and outcome. Carry on, Xing Chen. In contrast,
In contrast, Source F is article published on a political blog known for its anti-government stance
sorry,
in
pronounce
response
as
to the
anti,
minister.
anti, don't anti. These are the Americans, anti, carry on.
Known for its anti-government stance in response to the ministers. As such, it is likely that the blog hopes to convince Singaporeans that the poverty line is necessary and the government is not implementing it as they do not want to take responsibility to help Singaporeans living in poverty. By doing so, it hopes to sway Singaporeans' political support and convince them to pressure the government to implement an official poverty line in Singapore.
Write down this word. Beside convince, write down, serious. Instead of convince, you say convey a message. Okay, write down convince, convey, and to carry out. Write down, please. Thank you. Carry on. Since both
sources have very different agendas and perspectives, it is not natural that both sources will have very different views towards the issue. Hence, although the two sources have differing views about the need to have a poverty line in Singapore, it does not mean that one of them is wrong.
carry on. Last one. Last one, my dear. Since
both sources have their own vested interests, both sources are unreliable. Hence, both of them are wrong.
this one like that will tell you will really makes a difference. You will score very high on this. So you see from the source itself, both also is wrong because they have their own hidden agenda, they have their own ultimate motive, their own positive or negative views on the poverty line. They have their own conveying a message to carry out a different agenda, a different a belief of what a poverty line means to Singapore. Okay, last one here. Okay, I expect you to do this, so I already give you the answer. Next week, I think I don't need next week. I give it now to you now, lah. Okay. Oh, jump, yeah. I think my mouse got no battery, it died. Okay, where is it? Sorry, give me a minute now. Okay, so they say Singapore government has provided enough to help for the poor. Use sources in all the sources. Explain how far you will agree. So now you understand, Ziying, that plus minus neutral will help you, right? Okay, from here. All right. So you see, if you are using two sources, it's 5 marks. So I'm not sure. Ziying, Yang Xiang, Bei Kun, Zhao Xuan, Jia Ling, Xing Zai, and Qiao Xing. I'm not sure whether your teacher say, never mind, choose 2 agree and 2 not agree, can already. I don't like this. Okay, seriously. What happens to you? Happen you choose the one that's wrong, how? Die lah. Correct or not? Then might as well you choose everything. Chances is higher than you choose selective, right? 对吗，贝坤？如果你选一个 yes, 一个 no, yes, correct, no? If you choose one each is 2 marks. I'm sorry, 5 marks. Well, what happened? The so unlucky, the one you choose is not support, not agree. 你写错就不是完蛋了，对不对？ So myself, you 做到完啦 please 做到完 I agree, then you write down. Okay, so this is how you answer. I agree that Singapore government has provided. So then you must write like that. The first paragraph, children, Yang Xiang, Jia Ling, Zhao Xuan, pay attention. I agree that Singapore government has provided enough. So you say this can be supported by these 3 sources or by these 2 sources. Then you put that Source B, then you start same thing using your inference. Source B claim that this can be supported. Okay, things like that. Okay. This shows that effective. Okay, that's source B. With the inference and the evidence and explain. Remember the FIE, focus, infer, evidence, example. Clear. Next one, agree. Same thing, focus, inference, evidence, explain. Clear. Okay, I just put that in the YouTube. So please refer to your YouTube here. All right. Then you can pause it. Then next one, Disagree. Same thing. Write a small 2-3 sentences. I disagree that Singapore government has provided this. Okay. These are the 3 sources. Okay. Then source A must put the alphabet claim. It's same thing. FIE. Focus, infer, evidence, explain. Clear. So they talk about it here. And so of course, please go and read that out. Then C, the same thing. And F. Okay. This is a 10 marks questions and you require about 20 minutes. Actually, once you have you know the prominence is plus, minus, neutral, you already know how to do it already, right? And by the time, Pei Kun, you agree now, and Jialing, by the time you do those questions, A, B, C, proof, not proof, are you surprised, not surprised, are you reliable, not reliable? 那几个 source 都已经知道那个来龙去脉嘛，对吗？ You roughly know already 嘛，对吗，小信？ So you know how to arrange, agree or not agree, agree or Yang Xiang, right? So by then, this one, you already know what is supposed to do already. So check on the reliability. Therefore, what? Do you think I have answered? No more. Are we clear for that? Okay, last one. Sorry, it take a while. Lesson 16. So same thing, children. Just now, Ziying was reading this one here, right? And this is another question here. You talk about diversity, experience the effect of living in diverse society. So it's an issue 2. We are talking about FLOAT, foreigners, local opportunities, awareness, attention, and alertness of the threats and the systems that we have in Singapore. The threat means racial or religions or xenophobia. So how has the Singapore identity be diluted? That means 慢慢的逐渐的不见掉了。So same thing, underline the 5 keywords that of your choice. If you can, next week, I will ask each and everyone, what are your 5 keywords for this? Okay. Can I have this? Have you all done this? Have you all done this, Xiaoxing? I give it last week to you all. By right, you're supposed to do it as and we're going to go through. Don't have all? Have or not? No. Can I ask Pei Kun 有做吗？杨香有做吗？嘉玲有做吗？赵璇有做吗？星辰、子英有做吗？没有啊。Okay, then can I use this for my next lesson, lesson 17? Can? Okay. I think fair. I cannot be giving you the answer 嘛，对不对？ It's not fair 嘛。You know why it's not fair? Because it doesn't do justice if you are not going to write it down and just listen to my answer. Okay, now this one, I'm sorry, it's a bit blur. It shows that everyone is taking the pledge, the oath. Okay, then from here you can see pictures of Singaporeans taking the pledge at the National Day observance ceremony published on the Straits Times. So this is definitely a pass, right? Positive, right? Very propaganda, right? Correct. 每个人在讲 we the citizens of Singapore. So he's taking a pledge. Sorry about this picture, a bit blur. Okay, so my advice is if you can, don't print it because it's going to waste a lot of ink. This one. Okay, a lot of ink. But the 4 corners, I told you when you look at pictures, look at the 4 corners. And this one, of course, you have to decide the plus, minus, or neutral. Read through. Okay. And then the poster, this one is very straightforward, right? A poster of Singapore Days organized by this one. Okay, so this one, does it make sense? A poster of Singapore Day. Is it positive, negative, or neutral? With a group of people. I'm sorry, my wife was in front of my screen doing this. So if I don't do this, later I will be sleeping in the kitchen. Sorry. 它是一个母老虎来的，很凶的。唉，没办法。Okay, right. Can This is an look through at the 4 corners, you see. 6,000 Singaporeans turned out at the Flemington Race Course, Melbourne. Melbourne, that means these are the Singaporean in Melbourne, Australia. Okay. All right. We'll go through the answer with you. Hopefully you can finish like Zhao Xuan. Zhao Xuan, I will go through and mark your paper. Can you complete the I don't know that questions? Now you know the question already, right? I hope you complete it. Then I can complete everything and mark for you. Thank you so much for your Zhao Xuan, the only student so far handling the homework. Looks scary. Why scary? Very dark only, ma. Okay.